Hi, they just crashed a guy with the water and power truck crashed into my mother-in-law's house and he hit my mother-in-law, my boyfriend.
Hey,
Coming down the ramp towards the office. Faces at home.
Can you even fathom this? On October 26, 2015, Deputy Fields embarked on a series of actions in a South Carolina high school classroom that led to the abrupt end of his 7-year stint with the police department. In a jaw-dropping display, he forcefully slammed and dragged 16-year-old Shakara, all captured on camera by Shakara's quick-thinking friend, Mia Kenny. The footage blatantly showed Fields using extreme force on Shakara, who clearly was not resisting or causing harm. And just when you think it can't escalate further, brace yourself for the next segment.
On the morning of October 26, 2015, Deputy Fields did something that would end his career of 7 years at the police department. As can be seen, Ben slammed and dragged the 16-year-old suspect, Shakara, with all of his might. What infuriated the media and viewers of the video the most was that the student wasn't doing anything to have deserved such a response. Thanks to Shakara's friend, Mia Kenny, who began filming the whole incident, everyone got to see what truly happened. Otherwise, things might have turned out very ugly for Shakara.
You're not going to believe what's up next. After the classroom incident, both Shakara and her friend Naya, who tried to calm the situation, were arrested. As the video spread like wildfire, public outrage swelled, leading to their subsequent release. The notorious Deputy Ben Fields, already known for his fiery temper, was supposedly responding to a minor disruption caused by Shakara texting in class. But hang tight, the tale takes another twist.
Not only Shakara, but her friend Naya was also arrested for asking the cop to take things easy. Due to her age, Shakara was released. However, Naya was charged, but as the video of Deputy Ben dragging the teen circulated on the internet, Naya was released as well. After the footage went viral, things became more clear. As it was, Ben Fields was a school resource officer. Shakara's classmates said that Deputy Ben was known for having a bad temper.
This story just keeps getting more intense. Richland County Sheriff Leon Lott took it upon himself to investigate internally, stating Shakara's classroom behavior didn't warrant Fields' aggressive tactics. Lott was adamant that such actions were indefensible and made it clear they wouldn't stand under his watch. According to Lott, Fields lacked the proper training for handling the situation, which just added fuel to the fire. Next up, the community and leaders weigh in, and you won't want to miss it.
Evidence of that is Ben Fields' arrest of an Army veteran, Carlos Martin. Police said that Ben was called to the class because Shakara was disruptive in the algebra class and was texting on her phone. Even after the teacher asked her to leave the class, she refused to do so. Richland County Sheriff Leon Lott was assigned as an internal investigator over the matter. What she did doesn't justify what our deputy did, Sheriff Lott said. It doesn't justify his actions, but she needs to be held responsible for what she did.
Buckle up. Here comes the community backlash. The viral video triggered significant outcry from civil rights advocates, including the NAACP, who demanded that Deputy Fields be charged with assault. Though these demands weren't met, Fields was terminated following an FBI probe into his conduct. Despite losing his job, Fields stuck to his guns, claiming his actions aligned with his training, a stance hotly contested by many. But hold on, the plot thickens and the reactions get even louder.
Lott also said that the deputy wasn't trained for what he did and that watching the video made him very upset. Not only the sheriff, but the incident made many upset, including the president of the South Carolina chapter of NAACP, who said that Fields should be charged with assault. Although his wish was not granted, the FBI started an investigation against Fields, as a result of which he lost his job without any pay. Even after being fired, Ben stuck to his claim, saying that he was trying to handle the situation according to his training.
Just when you thought it was over, there's more. Meanwhile, in a similarly disturbing event, Officer Brian from the Largo Police Department found himself in hot water after a video surfaced showing him manhandling a 17-year-old. The video, which quickly went viral, shows Officer Brian aggressively grabbing the teen by the neck and hurling insults, all caught by an observant bystander. Following the public uproar, an internal probe was initiated, which eventually led to Brian's dismissal due to his indefensible actions. Stay tuned, as the next clip ups the ante even further in this saga of misconduct.
Largo officer Brian lost his job after a video of him grabbing a teen by his neck surfaced on social media. The cop's harsh behavior towards the 17-year-old boy was evident in the footage. While walking down the road, the teen was stopped by Officer Livernoy, who asked him whether he wanted to shoot somebody. After hearing that, the boy chuckled and continued walking, and the officer didn't like that at all. He stopped the suspect and asked him to put out the cigar that he was smoking. "You got a problem with me?" the boy said. "Yes, I do," Officer Brian replied. And this is when the scene that you are seeing unfolded.
Bro, just chill, bro. Reggie, hey, don't resist. Reggie, don't resist.
He expressed his frustration by handcuffing the 17-year-old suspect and grabbing his neck. As he continued pressing the boy against his police cruiser and kept his hand on his neck, the footage was posted on Facebook the next day, where it went viral in less than 24 hours. And as it went viral, authorities started taking action. He tried to justify his actions by saying, "I placed my right hand behind the black male subject's head to try and calm the black male subject down." However, his words in the video were totally the opposite of calming someone down. As Officer Livernoy failed to give a justification for his actions, he was fired without any pay.
Seriously, could this scene get any livelier? Daryl Brooks paints a picture of a bustling street scene, filled with people and suggesting some sort of festive event was in full swing. He stresses how utterly impossible it would be to have a fight there without drawing a crowd. He then details a rather mundane series of events about leaving a place and chilling on a porch, trying to use someone's phone to snag an Uber. You'll definitely want to stick around for what he spills next.
When you left Stephanie's,
It was still daytime.
it was still daytime?
Yes.
Okay. Were there still a lot of people out?
It was
Kinda
still
like there were?
still people out.
Okay.
It was still people out. Not a lot in that area. By the park, it was a lot of people out.
Okay.
Like I said, it looked like something was, I don't know what the hell. But it was a lot of people out, and it was, like I said, it was people, it was older couples walking down the street, it was younger people walking down the street,
It
people
looked like an event or something was going on?
I don't know, but it kind of seemed like it was a lot, like it was something going on to where it was vibrant, because there was a lot of people everywhere.
Walking
everywhere.
up and down the street.
Everywhere. It's people. That's why I'm saying, like, if I got into a fight with her right there, it would be impossible for somebody to not be like, hey, this guy's fighting this chick or whatever the case may be. Like, how could somebody not see something?
You're not going to believe this bit. Brooks continues to recount his chill session on the porch, assuring the person that he was just a regular guy in need of a phone, not a dime. He's all about keeping things simple and drama-free, just a dude trying to get a ride. His narrative is all about proving how normal and unthreatening his request was. The plot thickens shortly, so keep your eyes peeled.
Between leaving Stephanie's and those cops yelling at you at the door of that guy's house.
Was it dark when they yelled at you?
Yeah, by the time they came, it was dark.
Okay.
But we had been sitting out there. We had been sitting out there for a minute, me and the guy. We was sitting right there on the porch. We was just sitting there.
Define how long, estimate.
Maybe 20, 30 minutes maybe. It wasn't long, but it was long enough for, like I said, he let me use his phone. We sat on the porch. We were sitting right there, just like this, just sitting on the porch. While I called me an Uber. I called the Uber. I said, look, man, I let him know. I said, look, I ain't trying to rob you or nothing like that. Because when I knocked on the door, he kind of was like, whoa. I'm like, look, I don't got no weapons. I'm not trying to break in your house. I'm not trying to rob you. Nothing like that, dog. I just need to call an Uber. That's it. I'm not, he was just like, okay, I'll come out. Boom.
Well, this just took a turn, didn't it? Brooks shifts gears a bit as he talks about his plans to head home solo, emphasizing he had enough cash to cover his Uber without needing to hit anyone up for money. His tone is all about peace and solo travel, trying to detach from any drama. This snippet of his story is all about wrapping things up neatly on his own terms. Don't go anywhere. The heat is about to get turned up.
Like, I'll be home as soon as the Uber come. I know it's probably going to cost me probably like $40 to get from me. I'm guessing. I don't know, but probably. But I had enough on my card to where I knew I can get home, and that was the main thing. I'm like, I'm just going home. She can keep the money or whatever. I didn't even try to contact her further. I just was like, I'm gone. I'm calling this Uber and I'm going home. That's it.
Things are ramping up, aren't they? Brooks finds himself grilled about where he was on specific days as the interrogator seeks to pin down his activities and any involvement in a domestic issue. He's reminded of his religious duties and fatherly responsibilities, tying his personal beliefs to the expectation of honesty. The skepticism from the police about Brooks's truthfulness brings a hefty dose of reality to his spiritual and ethical declarations. Things are about to get even spicier. Watch how this unfolds.
Let me ask you this, Darrell. So you weren't out in Waukesha Saturday, just Sunday.
Yes,
Right?
sir.
Nothing physical yesterday. Like I told you, you're a part in the investigation. There's a lot of parts, right? To any investigation. There's
Investigation
people we talk.
for-
Well, this domestic abuse thing I'm telling you about, right?
Okay.
Okay.
So wait.
Hold on. Let me
Oh,
let me
okay.
go.
I'm sorry.
You
I just
talked
had a
about-
question, but
You talked about being a religious man.
I can do better.
God.
I can
We all
definitely do
could.
better.
We all could.
I'm not.
We all could.
No,
That's
it's
why.
perfect.
That's why.
Yesterday was a mistake. I should have just freaking watched the game and just
Yeah.
fucking went home.
Right.
Wait till you get a load of this. The heat really turns up as the police start poking holes in Brooks's story about not having access to a vehicle, pointing out they found a car key in his possession. This is where the cops start connecting dots that Brooks would rather keep unconnected. His earlier narrative starts to crumble here under the weight of hard evidence. The drama escalates, so don't touch that dial.
I just have concerns if I fact check that Darrell's not telling me the truth. You don't have a car, so Marcus had to bring you out. You don't own a car, your mom doesn't own a car, right? So Marcus had to bring you out. So why did we find you with a car key in your pocket?
It wasn't in my pocket. I don't even know where they said that was laying on the ground.
That's yours.
Yeah. It should have been by my ID.
Yeah, it's yours. It's your car key, okay? Because it goes to a Ford Escape in your mom's name covered in Waukesha. Okay. Listen, Darrell.
How's he going to wiggle out of this one? As the conversation gets more intense, the police lay out their findings linking Brooks directly to a specific vehicle. They challenge his story about his movements and the car registered in his mother's name, building a case piece by piece. This segment is all about the cops dismantling Brooks's earlier tales with solid proof. Things are about to get bumpier. Make sure you're strapped in.
I'm not calling you a terrible man. I'm not saying you were out yesterday hunting, and just let me finish. But you did not walk to that house. You did not walk to that house. You did not come here in a tan Kia. You didn't.
And who?
You did not come out here in a tan Kia. Okay? You got a key in your pocket to a car, your mom's name, okay? And that key works for that car. For the love of God, Marcus. For yourself, for your family. You know what happened yesterday. For the people. Tell me what happened.
Isn't this just edge-of-your-seat stuff? Brooks tries to clarify his earlier statements regarding a meetup at the park and using his mom's car, but the police aren't buying it without some hard proof. They keep pressing, spotlighting the inconsistencies and gaps in his story. This segment is a tug-of-war between Brooks's explanations and the evidence laid out by the police. You'll want to see how he handles the next curveball.
What am I being
With your
investigated
mom's
for?
car. You were driving goofy, people called in, you drove out of there in your mom's car, the red car, you're driving a little silly, probably because you're pissed. You met up with Erica in the car at the park. Now initially I believe you told us the gas station, do I have that right? And then you changed it to the park. So that's an
No,
inconsistency.
I said the house was by the gas station. When you said what was by
You said you went
Landmark.
and it was by a gas station, that's where you met her.
No. I said I met her at the park.
Okay.
At a
Well,
creek.
you met her,
I did say that.
You met her at the park in your mom's car, a red Ford Escape.
Can you feel the suspense building? The interrogation digs deeper, with police hinting that Brooks's actions the day before were more significant than he's admitting, possibly overlooking some crucial involvement. They urge him to come clean for the sake of clarity and peace of mind. Frustration mounts as the cops express their dissatisfaction with the inconsistencies in his stories, pushing him to start fresh with the truth. The anticipation is real. Keep watching. It's about to get even juicier.
And what you're telling me seems pretty consistent, that there was nothing physical between the two of you.
No, I didn't. No.
But you met her in the car.
I didn't put my hands on her or nothing.
But you met her in the car.
What's going on, man?
Asking you a question.
Just be.
You were out there
Just tell
driving
me
kind
what's
of
going
crazy.
on,
Some
man.
people said you were driving kind of crazy. You got reports of it. You got the key. You got the car. Did you take the car or did your mom give you the car? I know you know what car I'm talking about.
I just want to know. So.
Some people
Now,
reported,
listen,
all those
okay,
people
no,
out
no,
there,
no,
they
no.
reported that
No.
car driving a bit erratic.
I know what you're saying. All I'm saying is this. We all been straight up with each other.
What's he going to say under this pressure? Here, Brooks is repeatedly prompted to recount the truth of his actions as police dissect the reliability of his previous statements. They're all about setting the record straight, piecing together his whereabouts and his involvement with the vehicle in question. This is a critical point in the interrogation, aimed at breaking down any remaining defenses to uncover a more factual narrative. There's more to come, and it's sure to be revealing.
You knew it was more to what you was asking me yesterday.
Didn't know
That
for
would
sure.
explain the FBI and all that, right?
They're not here today. So if it's that big a deal, you don't see them here today.
Come on, Kurt. Hey, we been
You guys met in the car in the park.
we been cool,
Yeah, that's all.
man, the whole time. If I did something
Yeah.
wrong,
That's why they were
serious-
here. But do you see them here today? They're not here today.
Yeah, but y'all lied to me, man.
Brace yourself for the big reveal. As the interrogation winds down, police summarize their doubts and concerns about Brooks's version of events, emphasizing the need for truthfulness for both legal and personal accountability. This final segment underscores the challenges of separating fact from fiction in Brooks's account amid ongoing police skepticism and contradictory evidence. What happens next could be the most startling yet, so don't go anywhere.
You have lied to us as well because you came out here in the red Ford Escape. Okay, that is what you came out here in. You had the key, all right? So what I want to do is try to give us all a chance to reset. You understand what I'm saying? Start over because you're not giving us an accurate story. You didn't ride out with Marcus in a tan car. You said your mom doesn't have a car. I've just told you we've disproven that, all right? I don't know what kind of woman she is. I don't know what you all been through. But you were seen in the car driving kind of acting a fool, okay? In basically the same area that you've already been able to describe to me. I'm just trying to figure out how and why it happened. What made you tear out of there? What made you so mad where you're like, fuck it, and you raced on out of there? And then people go, man, he's driving around here kind of fast.
Can you even process what just went down? The video kicks off with the bonkers scenario of a high-speed chase featuring multiple officer-involved shootings and crashes. Some dude from California apparently jacked a city vehicle and decided to turn his life into a blockbuster movie, sparking a wild and dangerous pursuit that stretched for hours and ended in a SWAT showdown. The cuts between different chaotic scenes are so fast it's almost hard to keep up. You might want to buckle up because the next clip ups the ante.
Coming down the ramp towards the officer.
A high-speed chase, back-to-back officer-involved shootings, and multiple crashes are all caught on video when a California man allegedly steals a city vehicle and leads officers on an hours-long pursuit, ending in a SWAT situation.
Get a load of this next slice of craziness. On a sunny August 9th afternoon in northern Los Angeles, emergency calls start pouring in around 5:30 p.m. Some poor soul gets tangled in a hit-and-run involving a suspicious Department of Water and Power (DWP) SUV. As calls flood in, a calm operator handles the incoming reports, contrasting starkly with the mayhem unfolding. Strap in, the roller coaster of calls is just getting started.
The incident happened on August 9th in northern Los Angeles. At about 5:30 that evening, multiple emergency calls came in for reports of a hit and run.
Oh yeah, hi. So I just was involved in a hit and run crash. It's I think I got the correct plate for it, but it was
Does anyone need a paramedic?
no, everyone's fine. I parked on the side. I moved the car was able to still move to the side, so it's all good. I'm not obstructing traffic or anything like that.
You're not gonna believe this bit. More 911 calls light up the lines, with eyewitnesses painting a picture of a shirtless maniac at the wheel of the DWP vehicle, likely stolen. He's tearing through red lights and causing general havoc. Each call adds another layer to this unfolding saga of vehicular chaos, and just when you think it can't get any more bizarre, things take a turn for the worse.
No, but the car that hit me was from the Water and Power, so maybe.
Callers reported the vehicle involved was a Department of Water and Power, or DWP, SUV.
The car that hit you worked with a DWP truck?
Yeah.
Okay, how could you tell? Did it have like the city emblem, or how did you know it was a city truck?
It had Water and Power. It had a California exempt plate. I also have the plate number, but it just said Water and Power on the side.
Okay,
So, yeah.
and so they didn't stop?
No, they didn't stop. They just left.
Guess what happens next? Out of nowhere, the stolen vehicle smashes into a house, of all things, hurting people and wrecking property. A frantic caller details the crash, suspecting the driver was plastered or something. This twist links the reckless driving to actual bodily harm. And hold on to your coffee because the chase is about to go from fast to furious.
A third caller reported the driver was acting erratic and maybe intoxicated.
LA City 911, operator 593.
Hi, they just crashed a guy with the water and power truck, crashed into my mother-in-law's house, and he hit my mother-in-law, my boyfriend.
Does anybody need an ambulance?
Yeah. Well, I don't think they need an ambulance.
Okay, so a DWP truck hit your house and hit your mother?
Yes, he was a guy with tattoos, and I guess he was drunk or something.
Is he still there?
No, he left.
Ready for more madness? As the chase heats up, 28-year-old Manuel Ramirez makes it clear he's not stopping for anyone. He pulls stunts straight out of an action movie, dodging cops and breaking every road rule. The chase spills onto the freeway, turning into an all-out motorway madness. The upcoming segment, it's a real doozy, so keep your eyes peeled.
Officials eventually determined the vehicle was stolen. The suspect behind the wheel was identified as 28-year-old Manuel Ramirez. LAPD officers eventually caught up with Ramirez, who was stopped in immediate. When they attempted to pull him over, he drove off, running through both a stop sign and red light.
Wait, where's the nigga sign? Yeah, no, just go.
You won't see this coming. After leaving the freeway, Ramirez tries a sneaky escape through a parking lot but ends up trapped. In a panic, he smashes through a gate and starts playing bumper cars with the LAPD. This peak chaos moment is like something out of a video game, except it's very real. And just when you think he's boxed in, Ramirez has another trick up his sleeve.
After exiting the freeway, Ramirez drove the SUV into a business parking lot that didn't have a way out. Video shows him ran through a closed gate before turning around and driving back the way he came. But Ramirez doesn't stop and crashes into multiple LAPD squad cars as he attempts to get away.
So they're down the ramp towards the office.
This is absolutely nuts. Watch closely. The standoff reaches a boiling point when Ramirez's vehicle, now resembling something out of a demolition derby, stalls after crashing again. Officers surround him, yelling to get out. Suddenly, the car lurches back to life, and he charges at the cops, who have no choice but to shoot. This intense moment is not the end, though. The final act is just around the corner, and it's a jaw-dropper.
After all this, Ramirez's vehicle steers over a nearby hill, crashing into another van. Video shows officers rush toward this new scene.
Hey, get on the fucking ground!
Ready for the grand finale? After what seems like an eternity of chaos, Ramirez's wild ride comes to a halt, and SWAT swoops in to clean up the mess. He's patched up on the spot, and later at the hospital. Facing a heap of charges, his spree ends not with a bang, but a whimper. And if you thought that was all, stay tuned. The fallout from this insanity is up next, and it's as unpredictable as everything you've just seen.
When Ramirez's vehicle finally comes to a stop, a SWAT team arrives to the scene. Officials then work to bring Ramirez medical assistance as he's taken into custody.
We're gonna get you some medical help, man. Alright, let's handcuff him. No! Don't use that! Use the cuff! Okay. No! No! I got one arm.
Ramirez was taken to the hospital and treated for a fractured leg and gunshot wounds. He's since been released and now faces 8 charges of assault with a deadly weapon on a police officer.
Get ready for some crazy action. The video kicks off with a suspect pulling off some wild maneuvers in a bustling intersection. Captured on camera, the driver blatantly taunts the police by spinning donuts right in the middle of the road, clearly inviting them for a chase. The thrill ride quickly turns sour when the driver attempts to flee and spectacularly crashes into a parked police cruiser, bringing an abrupt end to his stunt show. But guess what? The excitement's just ramping up.
The vehicle is pulling a U-turn. No obstruction. He's just doing donuts in the...
A suspect is caught on camera blatantly taunting police, doing donuts and enticing officers to chase him. But all that fun comes to a crashing halt. He tries to make a break for it, but crashes into a parked squad car.
Hold on to your seats, it gets wilder. Captured on dashcam, the suspect, identified as 20-year-old Joseph Littlejohn, makes several U-turns and even busts out some dance moves inside his vehicle while throwing donuts, all under the watchful eyes of the police. It turns out the BMW he's joyriding was reported stolen, upping the ante on his list of bad decisions. You won't want to miss what comes up next.
Dash camera video shows the suspect, later identified as 20-year-old Joseph Littlejohn, doing donuts, making multiple U-turns, and even dancing in his vehicle as officers watch on. Officials later determined the BMW he was driving had been stolen.
Am I able to do something about this? This guy's just doing donuts and taunting us.
96. He's right in front of us, sitting at Eddie and St. Clair.
Can you believe this guy? As the chase heats up, the initial attempt to nab Little John is on full display, but the cops decide to back off due to the dangers of a high-speed pursuit. Over the radio, officers detail his erratic antics as Little John keeps up his daredevil tricks, egging the cops on to chase him, though they choose to play it safe. The plot thickens in the following moments.
At first, officers chase after Little John. But as he continues taunting them, officials stop the chase.
The vehicle is pulling a U-turn. No correction. He's just doing donuts on the intersection of Eddie Road and St. Clair. I'm not pursuing him, even though he wants me to.
Brace yourselves. This takes a wacky turn. During the chase, Little John ups the ante by driving with his driver's side door flung open, showcasing his disregard for safety. He swerves across lanes and even ventures onto the wrong side of the road, all while the car slowly trundles down a bridge with the door wide open. The madness escalates from here, so stay tuned.
At one point, the suspect even opens the driver's side door and begins driving with it wide open.
The vehicle is now sitting on the Eddie Road bridge deck with the driver's side door open, and the male is letting the car roll as he stands next to it.
You're not going to believe this. The chase reaches a dramatic climax when Little John, in a last-ditch effort to dodge the police, drives backward down the road and crashes into both a squad car and a pole. Following this, another police vehicle unintentionally slams into the BMW, creating a wildly chaotic scene captured by both dash and body cameras. But there's more chaos to follow.
But it all goes off the rails when, in an effort to escape from police, Little John drives backwards down the road and crashes into a squad car and a pole. After that, another squad crashes into the BMW.
The suspense builds. Right after the crash, Little John leaps out of the stolen vehicle and makes a run for it. The ensuing foot chase is captured on video, showing officers in a full sprint after him until he's finally tackled to the ground. The intensity is palpable as the officers work to restrain him while keeping the situation under control. And believe it or not, it gets even crazier.
After the crash, Little John hops out of the stolen vehicle and runs off. Dash camera video shows officers chase after him. This video shows the moments from the crash all the way to the chase when Little John is tackled to the ground.
You alright, Cash? Cash, you alright? You alright? Come here, bud. Come here. Pocket. Come here. Cash.
You'll be on the edge of your seat. A tense face-off occurs when Little John resists arrest, prompting the officers to deploy their tasers multiple times. Despite being tasered, he stubbornly refuses to comply fully, leading to a heated struggle as the officers try to handcuff him and prevent him from reaching a suspected weapon. Keep watching, because there's still more to this wild ride.
Little John is tased multiple times, but still refuses to cooperate with police.
Let it go. Pull your hand out. Go. Let it go. Let your hand go. No. It's a gun. I know it is. You want to get fucking shot over this? Let it go. You're going to get bit. You're going to get tased until you put that arm out. No. You want to get bit?
Just when you thought it was calming down, after being subdued, Little John complains about not being able to breathe and requests medical attention. Despite his dramatic pleas, the officers are skeptical due to his previous energetic escapades. Eventually, EMS arrives on the scene to check him out before he's taken off to jail. The finale is up next, and it's worth waiting for.
Little John maintains he needs to go to the hospital, so EMS is called to the scene.
Just so you know, this isn't getting you out of jail. We're going to go with you to the hospital, and then we're going to take you to jail. So you're still going, all right?
As he's being loaded into the ambulance, Little John pulls his shirt over his face, but officers pull it right off.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, don't do that. You said you can't breathe, remember?
You don't want to put your shirt over your face.
And for the grand finale, after all the high-octane drama, Little John is finally taken into custody, and a gun is found in the stolen BMW, leading to several serious charges against him, including fleeing and eluding an officer, and illegal possession of a weapon. This roundup highlights the intense outcomes of his reckless adventure and the robust response from law enforcement. Stick around, there's always another twist in the tale.
After Little John was taken into custody, officials recovered a gun in that stolen BMW. He was arrested and now faces multiple charges, including fleeing and eluding an officer and having a weapon under disability.
Step out of the car now. That's a lawful order. Step out of the car, you'll be removed from the vehicle. Step out now. Knife in his hand. Knife in his hand. Watch crossfire. Watch crossfire. Watch out. Watch crossfire. Watch crossfire.
Do me a favor, just go ahead and turn around for me. Then put your hands behind your back.
For what?
I'll explain it to you. So you're going to be arrested for impersonating a police officer, okay?
Can you believe this just happened? The DA is on a tear, ranting about her tough day dealing with 3 city murders and dismissively admitting she was speeding because, frankly, she's too stressed to care. She boldly claims speeding is the least of her worries as the officer tries to explain the traffic stop's legality. Just when you think it can't get any crazier, just watch what happens next.
You know what I've been dealing with all day? 3 murders in the city. And do you think I really care if I was going 20 miles over the speed limit? I'm the DA. I was going 55 coming home from work.
55 and a 35.
I don't really care.
Can you please come over here? This is on a traffic stop, ma'am.
Here we go, ramping up the drama. The DA continues to brush off the officer's attempts to conduct the traffic stop, demanding to talk to a superior by name and repeatedly refusing to show her ID. The officer keeps his cool, repeating the stop's legitimacy and reminding her of her obligations under the law, despite her insistence that she's above this minor infraction. Strap in, the ride's about to get bumpier.
It's
Officer Christofoli. Can you stay over here, ma'am? This is a legal traffic stop. Do you have your ID?
No, it's in my purse. Here.
You have your purse right there.
No, this is my lunch. Would you talk to Dennis? This is ridiculous. Just go away.
Hello, sir. Good. Ma'am, can you please stay at the back? This is legal traffic stop. Can you please stay over here?
The tension's thicker than a bowl of oatmeal as the DA tries to storm into her house. Ignoring the fact that she's still in a legal traffic stop, the officer calls for backup. The DA is in full defiance mode, questioning the officer's actions and asserting her authority. But hold on, it's about to get even more heated.
Ma'am, come outside. You can't just go inside. This is a traffic stop. Here's your phone back.
I understand the law better than you. Would you just
953. Can you have a supervisor come to the scene?
No. Get out of here.
I don't know why you're acting like this towards me.
Because
can you please go to the back of the vehicle?
I'm not going to. I'm home. Okay, 55.
I don't care if you got home. You were supposed to stop at Phillips Road when I pulled you over. When my lights were initiated.
I didn't know you were stopping me. There was lots of other people on the road.
Just when you think she might simmer down, the DA ramps right back up, arguing about how insignificant the traffic violation is compared to her hectic day dealing with murders. She grudgingly admits she might get a ticket, but continues to challenge the officer's approach to the whole ordeal. The standoff is far from over. Watch her next move.
You know what? If you give me a traffic ticket, that's fine. I'm the one who prosecutes it, okay? Just go ahead and do it. Go ahead.
I just don't understand the hostility. I understand you're coming home from work.
And half the time I was on the phone with Dennis telling him, why are you pulling me over?
You're not even supposed to be on the phone to begin with. You should know that.
I'm hands-free? Absolutely.
Okay.
You should know the law.
Okay.
You know what I've been dealing with all day? 3 murders in the city. And do you think I really care if I was going 20 miles over the speed limit?
Okay, I'm just doing my job. If you pulled over when you saw my lights, which obviously you did,
you won't believe the tenacity here. After a brief moment where it seems things might calm down, the DA doubles down on challenging the legitimacy of the stop and staunchly refuses to cooperate, insisting she'll handle it herself. The officer tries to maintain order, underscoring the importance of abiding by the law, regardless of her high-ranking position. And guess what? It escalates even further.
And I was
she's the DA.
Yep, I know. And I was just trying to pull into my driveway. I was on the phone with Dennis Kohlmeyer saying, would you please tell the person who's following me that I'm almost home?
Ma'am, I understand you were going home, but I started my lights back at Phillips Road.
On Phillips Road, yes, you did, and there were other cars.
I was right behind you, directly behind you. At the end,
go ahead, like,
listen,
you wanna,
at the end of the day,
go ahead if you want to write me a traffic ticket, that's fine.
Okay, at the end of the day, I was stopping you for speed.
Now things are really getting juicy. The supervisor shows up and the DA lays out her side of the story, claiming ignorance that the officer was trying to pull her over specifically. She's still on the phone, trying to pull strings and get out of the situation. You're not going to want to miss how this plays out.
Sarge on his way?
Because you said 10-4.
Okay.
So, it could be.
I was speeding in Phillips Road. He turned around. I didn't know if it was me. I wasn't sure because there were other cars going back and forth. That I got to turning into the field press, and I'm like, I'm just going to drive home. That's what I did. So, and I got on the phone with Dennis. I don't know. Even before I turned, when I turned in and said, you know, it's me that they're stopping. Just tell them it's me. So I don't know. That's really good.
General rule of thumb is if you see the lights behind you, I would advise against that. I mean, you're supposed to pull off to the side of the road if somebody with their emergency lights is coming behind you anyways.
Yeah, I just
Corey, it's fine. Just, we're having supervisors come, and then we'll go from there.
Oh, come
Okay?
on. Just,
this is what my chief wants. That's at the end of the day, you called him. I spoke to him on your phone, and this is what he wants.
I'm going to call him again. Seriously.
You'd think we were watching a courtroom drama unfold right on the street. The conversation turns to a broader lecture on traffic laws and responsibilities. With backup present, the officer reiterates the gravity of the DA's decision to ignore the siren and drive home. The next twist? It's a doozy.
She was going 55 and 35 on Phillips. She didn't stop at all. She decided to drive home, called the chief, and this is where we're at. She's admitted multiple times to me. So I attempted to stop her on Phillips Road, going 55 and a 35. Didn't see the plate. I was just keeping an eye on the vehicle because she wasn't stopping. Drove all the way here, pulled into her garage, got out, was just being aggressive towards me for no reason. I was being respectful, telling her this is a legal traffic stop, come to the back of the vehicle, no. Then she called chief, then that's why I requested a supervisor. And now wanted to go inside, told her no, you can't go inside, and this is where we're at, so.
The debate hits a fever pitch. The DA tries to justify her earlier actions, while the officers confer about whether to issue a ticket or make an arrest, given her blatant non-compliance. The air is thick with anticipation, and you can cut the tension with a knife. Ready for the next chapter?
What do you want us to do? Not do our job because it's you?
No, it's fine. I said, write me a ticket. But I was just saying, I was not going to stop at Phillips Road.
Well, you broke another rule because of that. Right? You should know better. That's not a traffic ticket. That's an arrestable offense. You know that.
717, I got nothing showing all set.
Why would you have to pull up? You made it a bigger deal than it needed to be. Yeah, you knew why you were getting stopped. Did you provide you the license and registration?
Yeah.
You have her ID?
I gave it back to her. It's attached to the job and everything, so.
The officers are clearly at their wits' end. They continue to discuss the DA's uncooperative behavior and her refusal to acknowledge the stop, stressing the complexity added by her official status. The need for a supervisory decision is now critical. The final showdown is just around the corner, and you'll want to see how this ends.
I'll wait till LT's done talking.
17, I can start for the unknown.
717, 10-4. Looks like it's an open line on a cell phone with people that were yelling to one another at the tennis court area.
Yeah, and got out of the vehicle, everything. So.
10-4, all advice.
Explained to her. I mean, she knew exactly that she was going 55 and a 20 or a 35. She even called the chief. So it's like, I don't care just writing her the speeding ticket and being done with it, but technically it's a arrestable offense that she didn't stop.
As we approach the grand finale, the atmosphere is electric. The officer, having had enough, finally issues a speeding ticket to the DA, who accepts it but with a dismissive attitude, still undermining his authority. The officer gives one last piece of advice on respecting the law, especially when police lights are involved, wrapping up this wild ride. Stay tuned for the wrap-up. It's as surprising as the rest.
I'm only just going to start the one ticket. All right, ma'am. So I'm issuing you speed in zone 55 and a 35.
That's fine. I'll take care of it since I'll be prosecuting myself.
Okay. At the end of the day, if you see my lights and sirens behind you, and obviously they're going off, just pull over. We can have a conversation. and be on our way. I kept my eye on your vehicle. I'm not going to check my computer to see what plate it is if a vehicle is not stopping for me. I want to keep my eyes on that vehicle for my safety, so I make it home at the end of the day. Okay?
This one's a doozy, folks. Christian Glass, a 22-year-old, is shown in newly released body camera footage moments before his death. Glass, apparently in a mental health crisis, expresses his fear and confusion directly to the 911 dispatcher after his vehicle gets stuck. And if you think this is wild, just wait until what comes next.
Knife in his hand. Knife in his hand. Watch crossfire. Watch crossfire.
Newly released body camera footage shows the moments leading up to the death of 22-year-old Christian Glass, who was shot and killed by police during what may have been a mental health crisis.
I'm gonna have to kill some skinwalkers. Can you stay on the phone with me?
Hang on to your seats. This ride's just getting started. On June 10th, Glass reaches out to 911 for assistance after crashing his car. He explains his predicament and mentions feeling scared. This initial call captures his request for help and sets the stage for the subsequent police response. And trust me, it only ramps up from here.
On June 10th, Glass called 911 after crashing his car. He told dispatch he was stuck and needed help getting out.
Hello, 911.
I'm in a vehicle. My vehicle got stuck in a really bad way.
About 3 minutes into the call, Glass began referencing skinwalkers, which are witches in the Navajo culture.
Do you know what a skinwalker is, man? They might just go by. I might be lucky.
Okay, can I get your date of birth real quick?
I'm so lucky. Oh, I'm so lucky.
At another point, Glass tells the 911 operator that she is his light after he's been frightened by a sound outside.
Hold the phone. It gets thicker. During his interaction with the 911 operator, Glass mentions that he is an amateur geologist and admits to having several potential weapons in his car, including 2 knives and a hammer. He assures the dispatcher that he intends to throw the weapons out the window as soon as officers arrive to ensure their safety. Buckle up, because the arrival of the cops really shakes things up.
Glass later told dispatch he was an amateur geologist and had several weapons inside his vehicle.
Are there any weapons that you're aware of?
I have a weapon on me. I will throw them out the window as soon as an officer gets here. I have 2 knives and a hammer. And a rubber mallet, I guess. That's a weapon. I'm not dangerous. I will keep my hands completely visible.
Just when you thought it couldn't get more intense, officers from the Clear Creek County Sheriff's Office arrive at the scene in Silver Plume, Colorado. They attempt to communicate with Glass, who is visibly distressed and hesitant to leave his vehicle despite repeated assurances of help from the officers. The stakes get even higher. Stick around.
Responders determined Glass's vehicle was stuck in Silver Plume, Colorado, about 50 minutes west of Denver. Officers from the Clear Creek County Sheriff's Office responded to the call.
Come out and talk to us. Come on, dude. We're here to help. We're here to help. Come on, bud.
For more than an hour, officers from multiple agencies attempted to get Glass out of the vehicle.
You need to step out of the car now. Step out of the car now. That's a lawful order. Step out of the car. You'll be removed from the vehicle. Step out now.
Glass repeatedly told officers he was scared and did not want to exit his vehicle. At the same time, officers voiced concern about the weapons inside of the vehicle.
You already said you have weapons in the vehicle because you already said you have weapons in the car. No, do not throw them out. Do not touch them. Do not reach for them.
You won't believe this bit. Tension escalates as officers command Glass to exit the vehicle, threatening to break the window if he does not comply. Glass resists, citing his inability to leave the vehicle and alluding to his mental health concerns. The next moment is a real jaw-dropper.
He's got a knife in his seat right there. His seat, okay. Step out of the car now. 161 at gunpoint. Step out of the car now.
Officers threatened to break down the window if Glass did not step outside.
Step out of the car now. I will break the window. Step out of the car.
Glass insisted he could not leave the vehicle and made mention of a mental hospital.
Keep your hands on the steering wheel then, and don't move. You reach for anything, we're gonna have problems.
This part's seriously crucial. An officer questions Glass about his mention of a mental hospital, trying to understand his mental state. Meanwhile, Colorado State Police communicate externally, stating there is no immediate reason to breach the vehicle, as Glass poses no threat to himself or others. Brace yourself. What happens next is a real twist.
A mental hospital for what? We haven't even been able to have a conversation with you.
During the incident, Colorado State Police said there was no reason to breach the vehicle.
13, can you ask Clear Creek what their plan is? If there's no crime and he's not suicidal, homicidal, or a great danger, then there's no reason to contact him.
So, my sergeant says that there's no point in contacting him if he's not a harm to himself or anyone else, then
things get downright nail-biting here. Less than an hour after the dialogue about his mental health, the situation intensifies as officers decide to break the passenger side window of Glass's vehicle. This action prompts Glass to grab a knife in panic. The climax of this tragic event is just on the horizon.
Less than an hour later, Glass grabbed a knife when officers broke down his passenger side window.
All right, we're popping. Dude, door section. Oh, this ain't working. All right. Knife in his hand. Knife in his hand. Watch crossfire. Watch crossfire. Watch out. Watch crossfire. Watch crossfire.
This is the Heartstopper. As Glass holds a knife and officers warn about crossfire, the situation reaches a critical point. Glass begins to pray aloud in distress, and moments later, an officer shoots him multiple times, leading to his death. What follows is both somber and significant.
Knife in his hand. Knife in his hand. Watch crossfire. Watch crossfire. Watch out. Watch crossfire. Watch crossfire.
Glass then began to yell out in prayer.
Christian.
Drop the knife!
Please drop the knife! Randy, you got that door held shut?
Moments later, an officer shot Glass 5 times.
Get ready for the emotional roller coaster. Following the shooting, Glass's parents publicly demand justice for their son, describing the incident as a wrongful death by law enforcement. They highlight Christian's vulnerable state and his misplaced trust in the police for help. The saga continues to unfold, and it's as stirring as ever.
He had done nothing wrong. He was just too scared to get out of his car.
Now, Glass's family is calling for criminal charges against the officer responsible for their son's death.
We have made no public statement before now. Christian's killing is a stain on Clear Creek County and on Colorado. It was a murder by a Colorado official.
In a press conference on Tuesday, Glass's parents, Sally and Simon Glass, called for justice in their son's death.
It was dark, and he was really worried. He trusted the police to come and help him. Instead, they attacked and killed him.
Can you believe this all kicked off with just a routine traffic stop? On April 12, 2021, in Carroll County, Georgia, a state trooper initiated a stop on a Nissan Sentra zipping along over 100 miles per hour on the interstate. The driver, identified as Aaron Shelton, initially seemed compliant as he pulled over, but then zipped off as the trooper approached the vehicle. Riding shotgun was his cousin, Pierre Shelton, making this high-speed pursuit a real family affair. Just when you think it's a typical chase, buckle up because things are about to escalate dramatically.
We're now getting a first-hand look at a Georgia car chase turned shootout that left multiple officers injured, one suspect killed, and another with a lifetime prison sentence. It happened on April 12, 2021 in Carroll County, Georgia, west of Atlanta. That's where a Georgia State Patrol trooper stopped a Nissan Sentra driving more than 100 miles per hour along the interstate. Investigators later determined the driver was Aaron Shelton. His cousin, Pierre Shelton, was in the passenger seat. As dash camera video shows, at first, the driver doesn't stop for the trooper. Eventually, though, the car pulls to the side of the road. But when the trooper gets out to approach the Nissan, it speeds off. Dash camera video shows the initial chase as Aaron Shelton attempts to outrun the trooper.
This next part, absolutely jaw-dropping. As the trooper closed in on the vehicle, the dash camera captured Pierre Shelton digging out an AK-47 and opening fire on the pursuing officers. This escalation transformed what was a high-speed chase into a full-blown, high-stakes shootout. Responding units included local police and county sheriff's deputies, who piled into the fray trying to manage this wildly escalating situation. And you won't believe how the officers handled this. Stick around, the action just keeps ramping up.
Soon, the trooper gains on Shelton's vehicle. As dash camera video continues, the initial trooper zeroes in on the suspect's car and taps it as it drives along. The car veers out of frame before straightening out once again. Next, Pierre Shelton can be seen from the passenger side of the Nissan pulling out an AK-47. He points the gun back at the Georgia State Trooper and opens fire.
All right, Shots fired, shots fired.
As the chase continues, multiple other units respond to the call, including county sheriff's deputies and local police officers. Dash camera video from other first responders shows them joined together in the search for Shelton and his cousin.
Talk about a high-tension scenario. Sergeant Rob Holloway of the Carrollton Police was at the helm of the pursuit, directing his officers to dial it back a bit and prep for a potential forced stop. Amidst these commands, Pierre Shelton let loose a barrage of bullets, one of which tragically struck Sergeant Holloway in the head, sending his patrol car careening off course. This critical moment marked a severe turn in the day's events. But hold on, the aftermath of this chaos is even more compelling.
Carrollton Police Sergeant Rob Holloway can be heard on body camera video, calling out instructions during the chase.
All right, back off just a little. We're going to follow at this distance. Dispatch, we're going 60 miles an hour.
But only a minute later, shots are fired toward Holloway. Sergeant Holloway was shot in the head and crashed his squad car as a result. Dash camera video from Holloway's squad car shows the same moments from a different angle. These same moments of Holloway's crash were also captured by another officer's dash camera.
The intensity here just skyrockets. Following the shootout, officers scrambled for cover and coordinated their response to the relentless threat. Officer Chase Gordy also found himself in the line of fire and was shot during the chaos. The climax of this confrontation saw Pierre Shelton fatally shot and Aaron Shelton nabbed and convicted on multiple heavy-duty charges including felony murder. He landed a life sentence without the possibility of parole. Don't go anywhere. The ripple effects of this day are next level.
As the crime unfolds, video shows officers on the scene take cover, ducking behind parked squad cars. Video then shows some officers move to a new location. This video shows the perspective of Carrollton Police Officer Chase Gordy, who also responded to the scene. Gordy can be seen taking cover in front of his squad car as shots ring out in the distance. Soon, gunshots are fired directly at Gordy. Gordy can be seen calling for help as the gunfire continues. For only 2 seconds, a suspect is seen in front of the squad car, gun in hand. Officer Gordy's body camera video captures these same moments from another perspective.
He's on my car! He's on my car!
In all, 3 first responders were shot and injured: Gordy, Holloway, and Deputy Jay Repetto. Pierre Shelton also died in the incident. Aaron Shelton was arrested and indicted on 22 counts, including felony murder, felony fleeing, and aggravated assault of law enforcement officers. He was later convicted and sentenced to life in prison without parole.
Can you believe this scene? The officer casually strolls up and starts chatting with the suspect about where he's off to. He nudges the conversation towards confirming vehicle ownership, asking in a friendly tone if the car indeed belongs to the suspect. Just wait until you hear the suspect's response.
See your other hand for me? Where are you headed to? Okay. You have your driver's license on it? Let's deal with the purple lights. Yeah, the purple tonight. Where are you headed to? A shooting in Marion Heights? Okay, 10th floor. Hey, sir. So, the vehicle is your vehicle, is that correct? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because...
Now, things take a comical turn. The chit-chat moves on to the suspect's claim of being a U.S. Marshal. The officer, playing detective, requests something solid to prove this identity, but the suspect scrambles with a vague response about voicemails and messes. Brace yourself. It's about to get juicier.
I'm looking for something to verify that you're a U.S. Marshal, all right?
One of the voicemails, I left him a message.
Okay. Yeah, just hang tight with me.
I got to go back to shift in about 2 hours. So
where's shift at? Where's shift at?
I got to get my car.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, hopefully we can get this resolved really quickly. Thanks.
Are you ready for this? Introducing himself as Gary Lambert, the suspect spins a tale about temporarily working in Florida, chasing gang members around Marion Oaks on four-wheelers. His story is as wild as a summer blockbuster, but hang on, the plot thickens.
Hey, we got somebody on the phone who wants to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Sir, what is your name?
Gary Lambert.
Okay, what district do you work out of?
I work out of Texas, but they got me down. They got me down in Florida right now, looking into Marion Oaks. There's two gangs out there that are riding on a four-wheeler with a pole on it, busting into people's houses.
Okay.
And they got a call, so I chase.
What's next in this comedy of errors? As the tension mounts, the officer directs the suspect to turn around and place his hands behind his back. Firmly but politely, he announces the arrest for impersonating a police officer, then starts to read him his rights. And guess what? There's more drama ahead.
All right, do me a favor. Just go ahead and turn around for me. Go ahead and put your hands behind your back.
For what?
I'll explain it to you.
I've been arrested my life.
Well,
Oh,
all right. So you're going to be arrested for impersonating a police officer, okay?
Hold on to your seats. This is getting good. In a deeper interrogation, the suspect fumbles to prove his employment or explain why his personal vehicle has police sirens, making the officer even more suspicious. Watch closely. The suspect's next move is unexpectedly hilarious.
And who do you work for? Who are you employed by?
United States Marshal Service.
U.S. Marshals, okay. You told me that you don't have your credentials with you, but they're in your...
Yeah, my Charger.
In your Charger. A work vehicle?
Right.
Okay. Who's the Charger registered to?
It's registered to Marshal Service.
Marshals, okay.
That's my personal vehicle.
So why would the Marshals outfit your personal vehicle with lights and sirens?
Didn't see that coming, did you? The officer digs deeper, questioning the suspect about his alleged tenure with the U.S. Marshals and the specifics of his current task. The suspect's answers are scattered and sketchy, adding layers of doubt. Stay tuned. The officer's next question is a doozy.
Hey, how long you worked for the U.S. Marshals?
3 years.
3 years? Okay.
One on.
I'm sorry?
Yeah. Coming down the road, get a call on my cell phone. Hey, they see the four-wheeler out there on the drone. Can you come help us?
Who's that?
So
Who called you?
This just keeps getting better. Desperate, the suspect claims his Special Deputy U.S. Marshal credentials are in his car. However, his inability to answer straightforward questions about his role and responsibilities only adds to the comedy. The confrontation is about to hit a peak.
Well, here's my credentials. I am actually a Special Deputy U.S. Marshal. Here are my credentials.
Mine are in my car.
These, your credentials like this are in there.
I have one just identically to that.
Okay. I would say probably not, because I'm asking you very easy questions to be able to identify yourself, and you're not. Who's your supervisor?
How much wilder can this get? The chat continues with the officer trying to extract more details about the suspect's supervisor and exact duties at the U.S. Marshals. The suspect, now clearly floundering, mentions Jim Willis but can't convincingly describe what he does. The finale is just around the corner.
My supervisor?
Yes, sir. Your direct supervisor.
Jim Willis.
Jim Willis?
Yeah.
What do you do for the United States Marshals?
I normally just do raids.
Raids?
Yeah.
Okay, who do you work for?
I just told you twice.
Like, okay, so do you work for the Fugitive Task Force? Do you work for the District Marshals?
No,
who do you work for?
I work for the task force.
You work for the task force?
Like people running, we do raids. All I do is raids.
Okay, listen to me for just a second. I'm going to give you a little bit of an out or whatever.
Right.
I know you're not a U.S. Marshal. I'm a U.S. Marshal.
Right.
I know for a fact, 100%, you are not with the U.S. Marshals.
Are we at the grand finale yet? The officer finally confronts the suspect on his true motives for impersonating a U.S. Marshal. Despite the suspect's repeated tales of urgent missions, the officer drops a truth bomb. There are only 3 U.S. Marshals in the county, and he's not one of them. You won't believe what happens next.
Okay? So I would just want to know why you would try to identify as a U.S. Marshal. Was it to, like, get around traffic?
No.
Okay, so what were you trying to do?
I told you twice. I was responding to a call.
With the U.S. Marshals? Okay.
You don't know about the drones out there flying over?
Sir, there is nothing like that. I'm gonna give you a little tip. Pro tip, okay? There's only 3 of us in this county. You are not one of the other 2. Okay. That's a pro tip.